Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again for another scenery review. This is a Payware one. We are in Italy, northeastern Italy. This is Bologna Guglielmo Marconi International Airport in northern Italy, Lima, India, Papa, Echo. This is a Payware scenery by CAELUS AERIAL, my good friend Pieta, who runs that little company. And we're looking at version 1. It's available for both the PC and Xbox versions of Flight Sim 2020. Download is 589 meg and it installs just under 4.3 gigs, which is quite useful actually. It's available from Sim Market, and you can also get the version from flightsim.to, which I believe works on Xbox. Not available in the marketplace at this moment in time. I just had a look. So the price, €19.19, which equates to roughly $20.67, or £17.55 UK. US and UK prices are estimates from the euro, and they include VAT and tax, which may of course vary depending on your country of purchase. So those are the prices if you buy it from Sim Market, because they generally, as I say, they include tax or VAT, and I find it useful to provide those prices rather than trying to let you have to work it all out. So I've done quite a bit of research about this airport, mainly because there's a really good freeware version by a gentleman called Manuel that's available on flightsim.to. I just had a look at his latest version and it is very impressive. And so I made some notes about the differences. We'll just go through those quickly before we move on. So the freeware version is available on flightsim.to. He's had over 26,000 downloads and it's got a 4.8 star rating out of 5, which is pretty impressive. His download is slightly bigger, 693 meg, and it installs at 2.9 gigs, so it's a bit smaller installation. Couple of things to say about the freeware first. His version is really good. He's got an animated train, and the difference is his animated train goes all the way out of the airport, all the way down to the airport. If I just swing the view round here you can see the animated train, but it stops at this point here. Now the freeware goes all the way out to the city, which is quite impressive. However, this version does stop at an intermediate station and picks up passengers, which is quite nice as well. So, you know, you've got a choice there really. Obviously in the freeware, the train takes quite a long time to get from where it starts all the way into the station, so you've been waiting a long time to see it. I followed it all the way out for over a minute and a half. But here in the Payware, obviously it's a lot shorter. You get to see the train stop at an intermediate station as well. I think the internal station here looks better in the freeware version, only slightly, but there's not a lot of difference between the two. There are many trees blocking the track further out as well. And as I said, I think the airport station interior is slightly better looking in the freeware version, but there's not much between the two. However, the landside development, the control tower and interior is much better in the Payware version. Here landside is much better developed. The eastern side, which is this end, it is missing much of the development seen in the default, but the terrain fits better. The whole thing really, the Payware version does seem to fit better into the default terrain that you've got, including the road system, which just looks a lot better in my opinion. And also the night lighting, which we'll look at later in the Payware version, is quite a bit better. So I'll talk to you a bit more about my conclusions when we get towards the end. So let's look at the features list. So we have detailed models of all airport buildings and hangars, accurate runway, apron and taxiway markings, PBR materials used on all models, partially modelled interior of all apron facing terminal buildings, animated monorail, surface movement radar, weather radar and runway guard lights. As I said, you've got the animated train here which goes out to a point here, and on this side you've got some small developments which we'll look at when we talk about the history. You'll see in the different views. So that does it for features. Let's have a look at the history of this airport. So, Bologna Guglielmo Marconi Airport, Lima India Papa Echo, is a public-use international airport owned and operated by Aeroporto di Bologna SPA and serves the city of Bologna in northern Italy. The airport lies about 3.7 miles or 6 kilometers northwest of the city centre in the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy. The airport's named after Bologna native Guglielmo Marconi, an Italian electrical engineer and Nobel laureate. The original Bologna airport was opened in 1933, some 500 metres to the west of its present location. The original airport was in use up until the 1970s, by which time it had become too small for the passenger numbers using it, and so it was replaced by the present airport that you're looking at now. There is one main terminal which underwent significant expansion between 2011 and 2013. It now covers a total area of 36,100 square metres, of which 5,500 square metres are now shopping areas. A new baggage handling system was installed, and the apron now supports 24 departure gates. All of the gates are bus gates since there are no jetways at the airport. The airport is served by over 35 airlines, with the largest operator, strangely enough, being Ryanair, which is a very large flight schedule serving dozens of cities across Europe out of Bologna Airport. In 2022, the airport handled over 8.3 million passengers and over 58 tons of cargo. So quite a significant little airport for northeastern Italy. So that does it for some history for you. Let's go and have a look at runways. So, Bologna Airport operates a single runway, 1230, measuring 9,196 feet or 2,803 metres, and it's made from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 123 feet or 37 metres and is normally in the UTC GMT +1 Central European time zone. However, Bologna, like many countries, operates Daylight Saving Time, or DST, and is therefore now on Central European Summer Time, which is UTC +2 hours as of March 26th this year. So currently in London, I'm looking at my watch here, it says 2:15. Yeah, the UK went on to Daylight Saving Time as well last Sunday, so we're 1 hour ahead of Zulu. So Bologna is 2 hours ahead of Zulu, so the time difference is 1 hour, which is exactly the same as it would be in the winter months, because we use Daylight Saving Time as well as Italy does. So both ends of the runway feature high intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting and runway end identifier lights. Runway 12, and we're looking down the throat of it now, additionally features touchdown zone lighting and a high-speed turn-off lighting, and precision approach path indicators on the runway left side. This runway also features an instrument landing system rated for both Cat 2 and Cat 3 low visibility operations. There's also an RMP and VOR approach option available too. And this is the preferred runway for landings during the hours of 11 PM to 6 AM local time. So here you can see the high intensity runway lighting system, touchdown zone lighting you can just about see closer there. Here are the approach lights, and again the PAPI's on the left side here. So let's have a look at the other end, runway 30. So runway 30, and we're looking down the throat of it now, also features a standard instrument landing system, an RMP and 2 VR approach options. And this runway is also the preferred runway for departures, except when conditions require a change of runway direction. There are significant details for pilots operating into and out of Bologna which must be checked before flight, so guys, read the charts carefully about what's expected in terms of realism. Also, there is high ground over 9,000 feet or 2,700 metres to the south of the airport which must be taken into account. So there you can see the high ground as you come in. If you're coming in from the south, you need to be really careful on your descent and make sure you adhere to the charts. So as you can see, runway 30, which is mainly used for departures with the extended threshold here, has everything as per the charts. but in this case the pappies are on the right hand side. So that's all looking good. That does it for runways. No jetways here at the airport, so let's get down to the airport proper and have a little tour. Okay, we're going to start with the usual airside tour. I'm going to try and make this review a little bit shorter than usual. Lately my reviews have been going anywhere between 40 and 50 minutes. But I mean, some people like it because of the amount of detail I cover, which allows people to make an informed decision about whether or not they want to buy something. But others would often prefer it to be a little bit shorter. So guys, I'm doing my best. But hopefully you'll enjoy this review and hopefully make your decision, because there's a really good freeware out there that really is battling with this. Anyway, let's start the tour. So going south to north, as you can see, the ramp detail is excellent as we approach the central area. I mean, the ground detail is really quite good. Buildings are really nicely textured. Lots of ground clutter, as you can see. Ramp markings are excellent, no complaints at all. They've all been 3D modelled. Even here, the roadway. It's just great. I mean, the building's done really good. There's my aircraft on the ramp. Really nice. We just swing round here. There's the airport sign. This is the other part of the ramp. This is what you're going to see as a pilot. You can even see the lights there on the bottom of the little walkways. And again, you see the detail has been included right the way out past the airport. Very, very nice indeed. I think the helicopters are misplaced, but that can be corrected. Here's a little helicopter base with a hangar. Nicely detailed, nicely modelled, no complaints at all. There's the fire station on the left there. There's the fire station, really beautifully detailed. Very nice roads with signs. Buildings are really nicely modelled. Various bits of clutter, all of which is expected. And even as we go right out here, more attention to detail, lots of ramp clutter, everything looks really good and nicely modelled. Open hangars there to the left. This is where the Payware version scores a little bit more for me. There's more detail around the outside areas of the airport. Bear in mind though, the freeware is really good and it's being updated. So there's probably going to be something of a battle between these two developers. But as you can see, some really nice work's gone on out here. So while we're here, let's have a look at runway 12 and the signage out here. So you've got the appropriate signs, you've got wigwags there as well, which is good. Here we are coming right out towards the extended threshold. Again, operating wigwags, which I don't believe are in the freeware version. But as you can see, the markings on the runway and identifier lights there too. There are your wigwags. And somewhere over there is a flag. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it is there. So let's return towards the central area. You can see some nice lighting on these buildings too. As I said, the detail out here for the cargo jockeys as well is really good. Very nice indeed. So we're going to check the landside area generally now as we come towards the terminal. Here's the landside part of the fire station. Some nice modelling. across over the building towards landside. As you can see, the landside is really nicely developed here. The signage is good, everything down to the car park signs. I mean, this looks really nice. A couple of Hueys helicopters out here. And as you can see, he's taken the development right out towards where the road is. It looks really good. Here you can see the intermediate part of the station where you've got passengers waiting for the train. And here comes the train now. We'll just watch it come up so you can have a look at it. And the track and the whole elevated system is nicely modelled. And here comes the train, which should stop here at the station. And there you go. Very nice indeed. So we'll follow the train into the main station. To be honest, the freeware version has a better developed internal part of the station than this one does, but that's the only difference I can see really. But there she goes again and heads out all the way to the end of the track, stopping at the intermediate station along the way. So just a quick look in the other direction as we pass airside to landside. There you can see some development towards the landside part of the terminal. But you get a good overview from here, looking at landside to see how it is. It's quite nicely done. I'm quite impressed with it. There's the Bologna sign. Very nice. So here's my aircraft parked on the ramp. As you can see, perfectly okay there, not a problem at all. But you can also see you've got the terminal there, and we've got internal development in the terminal. Obviously this is where the Payware scores a bit better over the freeware, but let's go inside and have a look and see what's on offer. So as ever, just a quick view from the outside so you can see how it looks. So let's pop inside and see what we've got. Okay, so inside the terminal looks quite nice. Unfortunately, he's not actually modelled the wall here. This is a bit of a letdown really, but this needs to be fixed. But there you can see we've got some departure and arrival signs. And here if you go up close you can see the signage is pretty good. It still doesn't blur, which is a nice touch. Nice to have some static passengers there with good vending machines. Internally the modelling is really quite nice. And here again you can see it's very, very nice. Unfortunately this looks a bit, it looks kind of wrong because it doesn't look as though it's complete. If we look at it from the outside, it looks great. You can see the building, all of this is indeed as it should be, along with the glass, and it looks perfect. The moment you pop inside, however, as you can see, the top of the building, which we could see from the outside, and everything is missing. It's not, there's no structure, so that needs to be fixed in my opinion. But internally it looks fine. It just needs to be finished. It's not quite finished, if that's probably the best way to put it. Here you're missing something here, and you've got, as I said, you've got the outside that you can see from the outside, but you can't see from the inside. It's just a facade sort of thing. Here we look at the other end of the building. As you can see, a couple of passengers there. It looks perfectly fine from outside. It's just the moment you get inside, the building tends to become a facade and it just doesn't really look right. Here's just a shot of the airside road. Looks really good. The bus looks fine. You've got some detailing here, and then these lights. In the freeware version, these flash in sequence. Not sure why. Maybe that's something that exists at the airport, I don't know. But in this Payware version, they are fixed. So as you can see, the jetway is partly modelled and lit. Well, it's not a jetway, it's like an air bridge that goes down to where the passengers then pop out at the bottom onto the aircraft. And again, all looks good from the outside. There's some internal wind here, but it doesn't really work because it suffers from the same problem where you look out from the inside. Just looks perfect looking in from the outside, but the other direction doesn't really work quite so well. So as you can see, the roadway looks great. So let's have a look at this part here. Okay, a lot more activity in here. You can see we've got passengers, seats, lights. There's a buffet bar over there to the right. You've got signage inside, passengers, there's an internal stair system there. That's a really nice touch. There's a really nice bar. We've even got a chat behind the bar, which is it's actually missing from so many other sceneries that do this. It's all a bit simple here, but you know, it's fine, it's okay. However, again, we have the same problem when you're looking out from the inside. Although you've got the top part here, this looks as though you could literally fall right through the open window. So that probably needs to be fixed. Let's look at it from the outside looking in. There you can see it looks perfect looking in from the outside. Just suffers from the same problem of all the other things, unfortunately, where it's not been done inside. Obviously, it's for many guys, many pilots, it's not going to be a problem at all because this isn't what they want to see. At the end of the day, they're going to fly in here, park up, and then fly out again. So they want the airport to be perfectly functional and accurate in terms of aircraft and flying, and I completely understand that. But again, you know, many airports have been modelled inside with some details which are certainly worth looking at, and certainly make the airports look really good. They utilise a lot of the features of Flight Sim 2020, and it's important, I think, to look at them, to see how the development's going, and there are some internal structures that are absolutely fantastic, and there are others where it hasn't quite worked. This is okay, it looks good, but as I said, looking out from inside, for those of you that are interested in this, that needs to be fixed, I would think. That's the one issue I can see here. So here's the arrivals area where people come in, they get dropped off by the bus and they go inside. And there you've got a chap who presumably marshals them in and up the stairs. Let's have a quick look inside. Okay, nicely modelled, very simple but nicely modelled ramp situation where the passengers will go up to immigration. And actually this looks a little bit better, at least you can see the structure, the glass structure. So it looks a little bit better there. So just a last look inside this terminal that we saw developed. As you can see, because the outside bit is missing, this doesn't look so good because of the problems we've highlighted with the outside of the building. When you look out from inside, you get this issue, and that probably needs to, that's the only thing I'd like to see fixed. When you've gone to the trouble of doing the internal parts of the terminal, you need to make sure it's complete, and this isn't, unfortunately, but apart from that, it's fine. Just have a look at the control tower. And from the outside there, very nicely, simply modelled, no real problem at all. Let's go inside, have a look. And there you can see a couple of controllers, a couple of radar screens. Again, quite simple, nothing fancy, but the effect is quite nice, no problem at all. And just a quick overview here of the landside and central area. Just so you can see the detail that's been added on top of the buildings. It's done a really nice job here, adding all of the detail on top of the buildings, air conditioning units, antennas, all the other bits and pieces. Very nice indeed, no real complaints. Like I said, just the issue with the glass looking out from inside the terminal. There you go. Okay, so let's turn the lighting down to dusk and have a look at the lighting here. And I think to some extent, before we do this, I think this is where the Payware scores over the freeware. The lighting generally looks a lot better to me. Anyway, let's have a look. Okay, 7:25 in the evening, the sun is dipping below the horizon. Again, I've tried to get to the point where the lights pretty much just about come on. And you can see here, all looks really good. The runway here, you've got green centerline lights, and they do go all the way down here as well on the taxiways, so you can see that. Runway itself is properly lit, and here the ramp lighting looks great. Bear in mind, this is just going into dusk, we're not in full darkness yet. So the ramp lighting does come up more the darker it gets. There's the sun setting, and here you can see the cargo area. As you can see, lots of ramp lighting, all looks pretty good, even at this point where the sun hasn't gone yet. The signage on the ground looks good, centerline lights, plenty of them. Haven't seen any vehicles going onto the runway, which is a big plus. So there's the VOR station right there. Here's the flag, the windsock there that I'd mentioned earlier, and you've also got the radar dome there, which is mentioned in the features list. And again, in the other direction, again you've got the second radar dome here, the windsock there, and the ILS box. All of this looks as it should be. So let's get down to the ramp and have a look at airside and see what it looks like. So here we're on the stand. There you can see my aircraft's parked. We've got some lighting. And internally the terminal looks really quite good through the windows, so the effect is quite nice. Let's have a look from the cockpit. So here's the view from the captain's, from the straight out through the front. This is what you see when you park up. And there's the view from the captain's window, and looking out the other side from the first officer's window. So all looks pretty realistic. So once again, let's do a little tour over some of the ramp and some of the area generally, and have a look at the lighting in general. There's our intermediate railway station. And nice to see the track is a little bit lit too. So here we come along landside. And again, this is where the scenery scores really over the freeware. The landside area is more developed, 3D, it's more modelled, it looks really good. Although I think the station internally is better in the freeware, just my opinion. You may have a different one. But signage looks good, lighting on the buildings looks really nice, very subtle. Here you've got the helicopter landing pad with a typical green light surrounding it, which you see at most helicopter pads. So here's the fire station, and again here we go, coming out to the airside ramp. We'll just drop down a little bit, and you can see the green centerline lights, and the signage all looks really good. Very nice indeed. Some good lighting, plenty of light view here, no problem at all. So just a slow tour back towards the central area, airside here. You can see the lighting is really nice. It's very effective. Just gives a real good ambience and atmosphere to the place. Nothing wrong with the lighting for the freeware version, I just think it looks better in the Payware. And here as we go past the terminal, here you can see inside through the glass where you've got the passengers and the seating and so on. Control tower is a little bit lit inside, but the effect is quite nice. go across towards the rail, the train station. I mean, it's great. It's really nice. We travel out towards the intermediate station here. Everywhere you look, I mean, the detail is really nice. It's been very well done. No complaints at all. And you can see there, even the intermediate station has been lit. Very, very nice. And looking back towards the landside central area, you know, the effect is great. It's very, very nice indeed. So that does it for dusk. You can see it looks fine. The train is actually lit, by the way. When you get closer to it, you can see. But let's drop it down to night time now and have a look at how far the lighting comes up. So just before 10 PM local time, as you can see, darkness is upon us, and you can see the green centerline lights along the taxiways, and the ramp lighting looks good. No real problems there. There's the runway, and again you can see the lighting is perfectly adequate. Even the radar domes are lit here, look. But there's the train leaving the station. As you can see, there's some lighting on the train as well. And here's a closer look at the threshold of runway 30. Here you can see the end identifier lights. So the taxiway lighting is good. No blue airfield edge lights, which is unusual, but maybe they don't have it at the real airport. But again, you've got wigwags here that work. It looks as though they don't work at this angle, but when I get closer, there you can see they work perfectly fine, and every entry point has them, which is good. So let's just have a quick closer look at the ramp. So here's the main part of the ramp. There's my aircraft parked over there. Everything looks fine, and as you look to the right all the way down to the cargo area there, plenty of lighting. There you can see the interior of the train station is lit, and it looks quite good, perfectly okay. And here you can see the lighting has come up on the intermediate station. Here comes the train with its headlights on. And some internal lighting in the train, which in my opinion makes it look much more effective. There are some nice animated trains in a couple of sceneries I've looked at that are let down by the fact that they're dark. But there you go, very nice indeed, really quite like it. So a little overview there of the landside part of the airport during the darkness hour. There goes our train out through the station. No problems at all, looks really quite good. And as I said, in my humble opinion, I think the night lighting at this Payware version looks a bit better than the freeware. So let's raise up to dawn. So 7:15 in the morning, as you can see, the last of the lighting is about to disappear. There's a nice yellow glow on the airport itself. Let's just move across to the airside ramp and have a look at that. Very nice. So there you can see the last of the lighting is about to disappear, but all looks really good. And in the other direction there's the cargo point. Everything looks really nice, no real complaints at all. Okay, 9 AM local time, the sun is well up now, and time to give you my conclusions. I hadn't planned to compare this with the freeware, but I did realise there was a freeware out there. In fact, I had it and I haven't flown in here for a while. But I went to look at the latest version and didn't realise just how much of a good job that developer has done. And he's continually updating it, so there's going to be a bit of a competition between these two. But anyway, let's get back to this airport. This is the Payware version, which is just going to cost you just under €20. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. Even if you didn't have the freeware, you'd be looking at the best version available of this airport. And to be honest, I still think it just about takes the cake. Only just. There's not a lot to choose between the freeware and the payware. But Pietro is a good developer. CAELUS Aerial is a good developer. Has got some good sceneries out there. 1 or 2 African airports that look really good too. Not sure if this is the first one that he's developed for Europe, but it's good. It's detailed, it's nicely modelled, it fits in with the terrain really well. The train animation looks good. There really isn't a lot to choose between the two, except I think the payware at the moment is slightly better. But if you're not interested in paying for an airport, then by all means go ahead and get the freeware one, which is continually being worked on by its developer Manuel. And I wish him all the best. It's a really good product. He's fantastic to do it for free, and obviously pleased a lot of people out there. The freeware scores a little bit more in terms that I think the internal train station development looks better, and he's taken the train station all the way out here. So you can actually follow the train for nearly 2 minutes all the way out here on the track, all the way out towards where the city end station is. Both train animation tracks suffer from the fact that trees do interrupt the track further along the way there. But yeah, this looks good. The internal development is good. The issue with the glass looking out from the inside needs to be fixed. That's the only real showstopper for me. It looks a bit weird. But as a pilot coming in here, parking up and taxiing in and around the airport, you're not going to have a problem at all. It's everything you expect it to be. The view from the cockpit is just as you would expect it. There's loads of detail on the ramp. It's done a fine job. Peter's done a really good job with this airport. So yes, I do think it's worth the price for a payware airport. It's priced quite competitively. It's not really into the upper end. I think it's about right. But yeah, I would like to see the problems with the internal development of the terminal fixed. I mean, that's obviously not a priority for so many people who just want to fly in and out here. But if you've taken the time to do that detail, it needs to be completed, and I think that needs to be fixed. And again, if you're going to detail the inside of the terminal, I would like to see a little bit more complication, if I can put it that way. It looks good. But some of it looks a bit cartoonish, needs to be worked on. But that really is the only issue. To be honest, the airport is lovely. It fits in really well with the local terrain. It's been nicely modelled, certainly landside as well. And it looks exactly like the real thing. And navigationally, all of the aids are there and they work, which is brilliant. So there you go then, Bologna Guglielmo Marconi International Airport in northeastern Italy, Lima India Papa Echo. This is a payware scenery version by Pietro at CAELUS Aerial. This is version 1, it's available for both the PC and Xbox. You can get it at flightsim.to, which I believe is where the Xbox version works. Priced at €19.19, which equates to roughly $20.67. or £17.55 UK. US and UK prices are estimates from the euro and do include VAT or tax, which of course may vary depending on your country of purchase. Those prices are the current sim market prices, and as I say, where it's available on sim market, I generally give those prices because they include tax and it's the amount that you will be paying, so you won't get any surprises as such. It's a nice airport, no problem recommending it. I'm sure Pietro will look at this review and start work on improving some of the things I've looked at, but really there's not a lot to worry about. Be interesting to see the development of the freeware, see how that goes, but it's a nice airport. For the purposes of this review, I've no problem with recommending it at all. It's great. So thanks for watching, folks. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up another payware review, scenery review. Hope you've enjoyed it, and if you've been on the fence about what to do with it, especially in view of the freeware being available, I hope this has helped you. Yeah, there you go. Really, really nice. So stay tuned this week for the second review, where we'll be looking at Roads by Just Sim. Now, they released a version some time ago, and they brought out a brand new version, version 3, which is available, and it's actually a whole new built airport from scratch. So we'll have a close look at that and see how that looks. So So guys, thank you very much for joining me. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up another review. Have a great week, take care of yourselves, and enjoy your flights wherever you're going into. I'll be doing a few, and I'll see you soon. Take care, bye bye for now.